Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the House of Collected, collecting all my pieces together and making my little stuff. Today is a little bit of a special edition, and we're going to continue making this pedal sleeve. So I'll give it 2 minutes, like everything. Correct. Some bolder chalk next time. All right. So I gave it a minute. I was kind of starting to cut this thing out, but I wanted to say that what we'll be making today is this little pedal sleeve. So as you can see, it's actually overlapping. So you actually have that like overlap to it. This was the same one that I was working on last week, but I screwed it up and I didn't quite understand how to do it. And I looked into it, and it's like once you actually line it, it makes a lot more sense. And I was like, oh, okay. So I lined it, and suddenly like I could figure out what the top of it was and what the bottom of it was, and it started to actually make a lot of sense. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Same pattern that we already used. So I haven't made any changes. So if you saw last week's, then you're up to date. If you haven't seen, actually I think it was like 2 weeks ago's now stream. But if you haven't seen my last stream for making, not digital stream but physical stream, then you will be up to date. Otherwise, feel free to go back and give it a look. But this will end up being a special order product of mine, as it's not officially something that I kind of thought of myself, but was actually a pattern that was gifted to me by a family member, and they kind of couldn't figure out the sleeve on their own, and so they were like, hey, I have a fashion designer for a grandkid. Why don't he figure it out for us? And I did. Well, technically, me and the internet did, because I looked it up on the internet. The great solution to everything, right? Look it up on the internet. Okay, so now we have a back piece and a front piece. And as you can see, they basically make a thing, right? But it's not sewn together yet. So once we sew it together, I actually only ever made one of these sleeves. I guess I could make it the other one, but I think we'll just make one just to kind of give it a look at what it's all going to look like. So I always like typing in hello to everyone too, just to be sure. Be sure that it's all working and everything, right? Also, I got music now, but I put the wrong email address in. So, I got it to work, but I realized that no, it's not a new design. It's the same design that we did last week. It's that pedal sleeve one that Nanny sent me, and I figured it out. Like, this is what the sleeve is supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like that. So I went ahead and cut another one out, and we'll sew this one up today. and then that way we'll see it. I might sew the other sleeve up. I hadn't done it yet, just because I still wasn't 100% sure about like how this goes on and like how much of an overlap. And so I figured what I'm going to do is put this sleeve in, then go back to this pattern and actually like mark on here where the heck it's supposed to be. So that way in the future, I don't have to like panic every time and be like, where does this go? Right? And then we will be ending the stream with opening these guys. These are Canobots. And so from now on until I finish this box here, until I finish that box, or actually I'll probably open 2 to 3 per stream. And, you know, we'll open these up. They actually have like little things inside of them. It looks like that. I mean, that's what it looks like. And then these are all the possibilities. So all kinds of cool stuff in there. It also came with a few stickers. And so these are like possible designs that I could get. This one, this is the one that I really want, is that one right there. That's Mr. Koom. And then that was the other sticker they gave me. And it says Canobot. And that's a real design that, you know, is available in these little guys. And all Canobots have that noise because it's meant to be a spray can, right? Like a little, and you know, you have that when you shake it up, so it has that in there. Okay. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm glad we got some people in today. But yeah, so now that I have this sleeve, and it is lined, because I looked it up, and you basically have to line this sleeve. Like, you can't have an unlined vert. Well, I guess you probably could, but essentially, you gotta have it, like, to get the nice crisp edge on it and everything like that. It just really helps to have it lined. So I went ahead and, like, pre-cut another one out. Same pattern as last time, no changes of any kind. You know, because the pattern itself was good. I just didn't understand it, right? I mean, you get a pattern donated to you, it can be difficult to actually really understand what's going on there. So let's go take this to the machine. I was supposed to have gotten a new camera by now, too. But you know what? That always doesn't work. Sometimes you're just not in the mood to go shopping. Which I know is can be a difficult thing to believe sometimes. Alrighty. Also, let's see if I can get my camera there. Cool. So also you notice I'm in the middle of making a ton of masks. So I just have like a bunch of masks here and stuff. So let's move that junk out of the way. Isn't this cute? I put things together and then I make masks out of them eventually. So eventually it will turn into, you know, to this guy with, you know, different fabrics and such. I have that being sent off to someone in Virginia. We'll just kind of put that little sleeve there. All right. Well, for starters, let's go ahead and just put that back seam together. That's always the easiest one. It is a nice straight line. So I just got done working a couple-hour shift there, or a 6-hour shift at my other job. And man, do I love this machine. Like, it really is just so quiet. It's like I work at the other place, and even just turning it on is so loud. I have to have headphones and all these kinds of things, even just like to hear myself think in that place. And so it's so nice to have like an actual nice new machine, you know? There's nothing better than that brand new smell in it. So now we have the back seam done. In the future, I think I'll set up my ironing board out here so that I can like iron things without having to walk all the way back over there. In fact, all of it will eventually be out here. I want to take everything out of that room and I'll put it here, but I still have this couch in the way. So I haven't got rid of it, even though it's been 2 months now. You know? Efficiency was never my thing. So now we're going to take our little back piece that we made and attach it at the sides. All right. Go this way. That's weird. Oh. All right. Kneel down. Seems like I miscut it a little bit. But that's all right. It's just a quick and dirty sample just to see how that sleeve works. Really, I only need to finish one side. Or we'll finish both just in case. Love how you sew. Yeah. Yeah, I've learned in sewing, you just kind of got to go for it. If you screw up, that's what this thing's for. So, it's not the end of the world if you screw up, right? There's a device for that. There's a whole thing, and realistically, it's not the end of the world. I screw up pretty much every single day of my life, so, I'm pretty used to it at this point. There's only so many times you can fail before you stop getting mad at yourself. Yeah, see, that was definitely miscut a little bit. All right, well, that's fine. Unfortunately, that chalk I was using was not very good, and I couldn't really see where I was cutting. So it's not really as accurate as it could be. Get that nice and straight. All right. So, in a few little, actually, we got one more stitch. I was about to say, I almost thought we were done, but no, we got one more to do. It's not failure, it's creative experience. Yes, I like that a lot. And I've had lots of a creative experience then. So, there we go. Now we got our little guy. Eventually, real versions of this will be lined and everything like that. Oh, hello. Look, I got the sleeve working. So that's what it's supposed to look like. So you got this overlap here. And the real versions will be lined like this one. Not like this one, no lining yet. The real version, is like this. It has a lining, and I figured it out. I looked it up online, and that's how you make that little tulip sleeve. I'm going to mess with the pattern a little bit, I think, as well, to make sure, exactly, should it be here? Should it be there? We're gonna figure that part out. In fact, we're gonna figure that part out right now. So, how you put a set-in sleeve in? This is what's called a set-in sleeve because it already has its side seam done, and the side seams on this are done. When I make dresses at work, I actually don't sew this side seam. I sew it with the sleeve. So I put the sleeve in, then sew the whole thing down. She told me it looked upside. What, this one? Yeah, the first one that I did? Yeah, the first one that I did, I think, was legitimately upside down. I agree. I agree with her. But, you know, I was doing it from no pattern. I was doing it from no experience. And I was doing it. I've never done it before. So how the heck was I supposed to know? Okay. So this is actually what this sleeve looks like. This is what this crazy sleeve looks like. And this part, all the top, is the top that you set in. And so you literally overlap these two, thus creating your pedal effect. And it's all really based on how much, like, you know, I could do it like that, and it could be a really small overlap. I could do it like this, and you would have a huge overlap to it, right? Which kind of looks cute. And in the future, we might do something like that, where it's like, you know, maybe we'll do a wide version, and maybe we'll do a narrow, you know, we can have fun with that in the future. But for now, let's figure out where it goes. Alrighty. So how you do that is, first of all, anytime you're putting a set-in sleeve in, you put it right sides together, right? So you actually turn the garment inside out and put it in from the inside. And what I'm going to do is match up here my side seam and the side seam of this. And I usually like a nice double pin when I do that. It just gives me, like, you know, a nice steady place. And usually you start sewing from here. And so if you do 2 pins, then, you know, when you start sewing, you can kind of keep going that way. You don't have to, you know, worry about it being unpinned anymore. And so basically what's going to happen is we're just going to get that in there. And, you know, just start kind of pinning it like crazy, right? And just seeing where that all lines up. Now, see, there's the top. Let's see. Yeah, see, there's the top. And there's my overlap. So I'm actually going to measure it here in a minute to make sure I actually have like a good solid number. But this is how this sleeve is supposed to look, where it's like, I'm actually going to overlap each piece there. And then take this other side and do the same thing on the other side. So now one's all pinned in place, and then we'll keep pinning this other guy in place. And when I do sew this, I'm actually choosing essentially which one goes over the other. So in the future, we'll actually like designate that as well, like what side is the top side, which they would call the overlap or the underlap. So let's just start pinning this sucker together. Also, can you guys hear the music? Yeah. Using a stretch fabric is definitely helpful. Technically, this denim is stretched. The green stuff inside is not stretch, but that's fine. It's just a sample. The real version will use 100% stretch fabric. And she was talking to a girl recently. She's going to sell fabric by the yard. No, she told me no. No, okay, no music, yeah. How about that? Tell me if you can hear that. Okay. So it is just currently pinned in. But now, so that's actually what we're going to have now. So that's like, you know, my sleeve can go through here. Yeah, you can hear it now, right? Yeah. And I'm actually paying for that. So this cost like, I think it was $200 for a year for me to have music on here. So isn't that cool? Like, I mean, you know, it costs a bit of money, but I'm happy with the result there. It makes me happy, right? Because at least when I'm sewing away or not talking, at least you guys have something in the background to kind of help you out. So it's not just statically, especially because normally a lot of these live streams, they have 2 or 3 people in them, you know? So it's like something to help balance it out. But anyways, this is what it's going to look like, see? And so that actually looks, you got the one flap, you got the other flap, and see, I chose to have this one go over that one. I could change it. In fact, if I do the other sleeve, I might do that, right? Do both sleeves, see which one looks better, right? But let's go ahead and sew it, because you can't just leave it pinned forever, right? Now, I don't know how you sew a sleeve, but what I've learned over the last couple of years, because there was a big debate in my school about, when I was in college for fashion design, about whether you sew on the outside or whether you sew on the inside. And the inside is eventually what my teacher was like, oh, that's way better. It's not. You should sew on the outside. It's way better. But that's just my opinion. I mean, you know. I do a lot of sewing, though, so. But I always sew on the outside. I find that it's much better and you get a cleaner look from it. The reason for that is when I'm sewing here, you'll notice I'll get to a point, I'll stop, and then I basically have to move the whole thing. What that does is the top piece, this piece, is round. The other piece is basically like a counter round, right? So one is one direction round, the other one's kind of the other. And so when I lay it down like this, I can actually get both of them to be flat. Whereas I found when I went inside, I was basically having to force a, you know, kind of a round piece into a round hole, and you would think they would work well, but it doesn't. Outside is just the method. Is the method to the madness. I think also because you can pull these things a lot easier when they're on the outside. You can really, plus I can really move that fabric out of the way so much more. But yeah, next week we're going to go ahead and switch the sides for the camera. Because I was watching some of these back, and I just don't like that camera angle. It's not doing it for me. It's a little too low and a little too weird. But I should be in 720 now. I was only in 540 the last couple weeks. So you look, I'm like not as like blurry and a little more defined, right? Anyways, now we got our thing sewn. Let's actually go back and press it a little bit. Because you do need to press it eventually. I mean, you should be pressing it at every step, but, you know. We'll get to that stage one day, right? But technically, you should really be pressing every time you do anything. Any seam, you should always press. It's impressive to press your seams, right? All right. Bloop. One second. Let me just go press these seams. See, this is what the music's for. Good enough. All right. Let's see. There you go. Light's a little better on this side. That's what I was thinking. And so as you can see, when I made that choice, to go that way, it was probably the wrong idea. I really should have this one in the front of the other one, right? So in the future, we'll definitely have that because it's kind of sticking the wrong way. It really should have this one in the front. And technically, the pattern that I looked at had like two pieces, so it actually had an overlap and an underlap. Whereas this one, yeah, it should be the other way because it's going too far back. But I got one pattern piece, and I just gotta guess, right? Gotta kind of go with it and guess. So what we'll do is, as always, we can seam rip it and keep it going, right? So I think that's what we'll do. We'll seam rip this little part and flip them back, and then test it again, right? So let's go back to the machine, and that way we can give a little test. And as you can see, my house is a complete mess. All right. I gotta get my house streaming ready, huh? Yeah. I mean, it's kind of fun that I can like knock out an entire outfit in like a couple minutes nowadays, right? It is fun to me that I made some patterns today. There's a contractor, and she apparently did not get paid for something, and so she refused to do any like pattern modifications. And so I spent the last day making like patterns for her. And so it was fun to just be like, all right, I don't know how long it's going to take me to make this pattern. And then like an hour later, I was like, oh, I'm done. I was like, oh, it actually wasn't that hard. It's like, I've just gotten better at it, I think it's one of those things, you don't realize that you've gotten good at something until someone else is like, oh, I thought that was going to take you like all this extra time, and it didn't. And I'm like, yeah, me too. Fun little thing for seam ripping. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see. But I'm only doing one every third. You don't have to do all of them. You only have to do one every like 3. And then the rest of them will just pop. Okay, so now we have that seam ripped. And the other nice thing about doing it that way, if you all do it on just one side, you can literally take that other thread right on out as one solid piece. Again, let's pin it a bunch just because, it's the beginning of doing something new, and it's never a problem when you're doing something new to give it, give it a few extra pins. There's no problem there. I don't have any of my coworkers here to make fun of me for it, so I'll put as many pins in as I want. With no judgmental ladies looking on, going, why are you doing that? And then they say a bunch of stuff in Spanish that I don't know, and then later on she goes, no, they weren't making fun of you. And I'm like, I don't know. They looked at me, they laughed, and then they talked to you for a while. That's what I would call making fun of someone, but hey, I guess I'll give her the benefit of the doubt and say they're not, right? But I'm going to deal with that for another 10 months. Then I don't got to deal with it no more. Because then this will be my only job. Well, I'll probably be doing some freelance work and some other little work just to help with money. I hate when it bunches up a little bit there, but that's fine. It's never fun when it bunches up, but it's all right. It's a down and dirty sample. Anytime you seam rip something, then you always risking all that bunching. So let's go look at it again. Yeah, much better. Much better. If you watch your British UK drag, you'll get that reference. If you don't, then you won't. Look, all my ceiling fans. This room has none. All right. Don't you love? Is that a tulip sleeve? Technically, some people call it a petal sleeve. Some people call it a tulip sleeve. I wouldn't call it a true tulip sleeve because true tulip sleeves have no seam here. They're completely overlapped. It's literally you take half a sleeve or 2/3 of a sleeve, then 2/3 of a sleeve and put them over. And so the overlap would happen at the bottom and at the top. That's like how I designed it. That's how it was. And then this is the pattern you gave me. And this one only has it at the bottom because this is more of an industrial, like simplified or what's it called, McCall pattern. And McCall is going to do something like this because it's more like what home sewers are like more capable of. Whereas I can do the real, like the couture version. They do this on top and bottom. So there you go. That is your sleeve. And really at a certain point, it's now, deciding, do I want it here? Do I want it there? Do I want it, I could literally do the whole thing sideways if I wanted. I mean, you can do however you really want. That's, the fun part about it. All right. And so you do get this kind of nice loose sleeve. And then you get this like constructed, very Asian looking type sleeve. And there are some companies that I've seen that will actually like tack that down here. At this point, they might tack it down so that way you get like even in the breeze you don't get this because if a strong wind gusts, you basically get this where it's like right. So it's like a lot of them they actually go in and then they'll tack that down. So it's really more just for looks than anything else. It looks a lot better than that first one. I forgot. I think I have it on the ground somewhere over there because I was not happy with it. I was like, yeah, that looks crappy. But then, of course, the front is still good. Right? So it's like, that's still giving that like shirt feel. So you got it coming to the side here. And so it's what's called a shirt tail. So in the back, you got it coming down past my butt there. And then the front is going to come like past my butt. But then the side, it will come up to like my waist. So you get that kind of like couple inch difference there. Which, I mean, I probably, if I was designing it, would have done what's called a tunic style, which is just straight military style. Which I mean, I guess because when I go into my work, that's what I make. I make tunics. Like the patterns I was making today were all tunic patterns. So realistically, and you can see because this is like a heavy industrial, like the underside is not stretch, and so you can see it's like really. That's why, it's really helpful to have it be a lightweight stretch fabric. But I wanted to really show, the real thing to it. Actually, I was going to do this in a different color, which I thought that'd be cool too. Do this as one color and then do that one as a completely different color. I actually want to do a series of dresses where I go to a thrift store, buy a bunch of dresses, and then just start chopping them up. And make sleeves out of it, make stuff, and then start modifying other dresses that I get all from thrift store. The whole reuse, recycle, that kind of idea, right? So anyways, that's the time for this one. Again, another short one because I'm still, as you can tell, the mess around me. I'm still kind of getting all my bearings together. Yeah, we'll go ahead and move me back to position 1. As I call it. Thank you. Yeah. So you got what's called, they were called a shirt, and the real versions will be lined, and then I'll be I guess next week I can do grading of this. It's probably what we'll do next week, is I can show how to take this pattern here and these other two, because as you can see, it fits me pretty well. I mean, I could take out a couple inches. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, about like my hand here wide, but I could take out a couple inches and still be, that would be tight on me now, right? Like a little tighter. But we don't have to. This can be a looser shirt, because it is more of a blouse style, so it should be a little looser. So we'll probably keep this as a large, and then work that way up. So an extra large, a 2X, a 3X, and then work its way down, right? A medium, a small, an extra small. But yeah, it's cute, right? This thing is going to take me so long to learn that this is, because camera, I have to do everything backwards. So it's like I kept thinking, I got to turn this direction, but really I got to turn the other direction. But yeah, cute, right? So I'm going to leave this on while we go ahead and do this. This is the little Canobots I was talking about. We'll go ahead and open 2 of them up and see what we get. I'm going to come there closer to you guys. So these are the little Canobots. I spelled you wrong. Well, I look like one of those Russian bots, huh? These are what are called blind boxes. Learning how to change sizes would be good. Yeah, that's called grading is what that's called. And it's something that I'm very good at. So they come sealed in that and then sealed in this. So let's see what the first one is. Let's give it a good rip. We got, I believe it's the mint one. I forget what it's called. Yes, Little Quirky by Quicks. And then all of them come with shakers in them. Isn't that fun? Because they're a little like, it's like if a spray can. This one my brother would like a lot. This is the mint chocolate chip one. And so they all have shoes and they all have little faces to them and arms and such. 63 is that guy's number. He puts it on like everything that he makes. So that was my first one. I have, 24 of them. So we're not going to do all of them, right? We'll just do 2 here. We need 2X. Yeah, definitely. There's a certain smell to these bags that you can't get anywhere else. I'll tell you what. Ooh, that's a cool one. Let's see, who's this guy? Okay, this is Modern Hero by Mad L. Has the thing in it like always. And it's a little skeleton. And I like how his thing's leaking a little bit, right? His is all leaking. And then you got that cool little like eyeball on the bottom. That's that guy's logo. Mad L, that's his logo. So you got this little logo on it. Well, part of his logo. And then the bottom of it has like little info about it. So isn't that cute? They're very cute. We'll do 3. Might as well, right? We'll do 3. Why not? I was excited to get these in. I pre-ordered them quite a while ago on a thing called Kickstarter. Because these were Kickstarted, and then, of course, the pandemic and all that happened, and so these were like 6 months delayed, right? What did we get? Oh, hey, a duplicate. So we already got this guy. So what happens when you get duplicates? Because they are, if you look at this box, see, it actually will say it in there. There are 2 in every 20. And like 1 in every 600 or 1 in, well, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. So I was always going to get 2 of these guys. And so it's like, you end up, I can sell one, I could trade it, I could, you know, paint it, whatever I want, right? That's the kind of the fun thing about collecting, right? Once you own it, you can do whatever you want with it. You know? Anyways, thanks so much for checking out my latest little thing. The logo is all done and finalized. I will be, you know, getting that. Oh, thanks. Yeah. But I'll get that going and post it all and all this kind of stuff. We'll be doing it on Thursdays from now on and Tuesdays still. So just so everyone is aware, new day. And then next Thursday, I'll be premiering my new name. Well, same first name, but I finally figured out what my last name should be. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do a little poll and I'm going to do, you know, let's have some fun, right? I mean, you know, I'm going to make a character for the next 30 years. It's like, I don't hate to rush into the guy, right? So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another episode of, I haven't quite figured out the name of this yet. I was thinking of like calling it the building blocks of a company or man at work. Because that's like a common saying, right? Like men at work, but I'm only one guy, so it'd be man at work. And I was thinking the other one would be learn tos. How to is like, I already know how to do it. Whereas learn to is more like, I'm learning still to do it. And so I was thinking of calling it that too. So this is House of Improvements Learned to episode 5, I believe. And these were the little Canobots that I got. 2 of these little ones from Quicks, which I'm excited about. Quicks, that's the guy, if you ever looked at my other stuff on Life Collected, that's who makes the Tech 63s. So, I mean, I love this guy. I mean, he's a Filipino artist, and man, he makes some cool stuff. And he loves mint chocolate chip. So I think I'll probably give one of these to my brother because he loves, you know, he loves mint chocolate chip. That's his ice cream flavor. So I'll give one to him, right? He'll like it. And this is the other one that I got. And if anyone other than Miss Shirley there, if anyone else ever thinks of a pattern that they like or something they see in a magazine or on a website or anything like that, feel free to, you know, send me a DM at Chris from Life Collected. Or, you know, other people like in my chat might have other ways of connecting, just my cell phone, right? But yeah, if you ever want anything else, you know, hit me up. Tell me what you want. And I'm happy to, you know, get that going. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Thanks. You know, hope everyone had fun. There we go. To post that. Boom. There we go. And then I can push little stars. Hey, you're the one stopping him from being on Lost Ark. Don't be playing with me with that. I've been trying to catch up, and I think I might have passed him at this point. I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually about to literally go play Lost Ark. So yeah, if you have a Steam account, you can come play with me. I'm about to switch from this to go play Lost Ark until dinner time. There's only 5 for me, so I'm about to play for a little while and cook up some salmon for dinner. So I went to Costco yesterday. 480. You know, I'm so inexperienced at the game. I literally don't even know what you're talking about. I kind of got into it because my bro got into it. And then I was just like, all right, well, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. I know I have like an armor level of like 20 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's the other game. That's Dying Light. I have 20 in. I gotta go look what my GS is. I don't know. I'll look it up and I'll message Phil on the Steam and stuff like that. Anyways, thank you guys so much. It's been another episode of House of Improvements. It's been another episode of House of Improvements. Learn to make a company. Thanks. Yeah, obviously, I figured as much. Bye, y'all. Oh, yeah, that doesn't work on. All right, bye, y'all.